The 2017 NoDQ.com Year-End Awards.
Match of the Year. Best match of 2017. The nominees: AJ Styles versus John Cena at the Royal Rumble, Pete Dunne versus Tyler Bate at NXT TakeOver Chicago, Okada versus Omega 2 from New Japan's Dominion, the Usos versus the New Day from Hell in a Cell, War Games from NXT TakeOver War Games, of course, what else could it be, and AJ Styles versus Brock Lesnar from Survivor Series. Now, I'll go ahead and start on this one. This was probably the toughest category for me to make a pick on because I think all these matches are great in their own way, and it's really hard to pick one that stands out above the rest. Now, Omega versus Okada 2, that match got more nominations than the first one. They both got a lot of nominations, and the second one was also higher rated than the first one. The first one was the infamous 6-star Dave Meltzer match. The second one actually got even a higher rating, a 6.25.
Which is ridiculous.
So according to Dave Meltzer, this is the greatest wrestling match of all time. Now, I watched it. I actually watched it today so I could have a fair opinion.
Good.
I did watch the first match earlier this year. I did watch the second one today, and I think it was a great match. I think both of them are incredible athletes going out there for 60 minutes. It's extremely tough. Not many people can do that. Hats off to those guys. Now, with that being said, I think there is such a thing as too much. I think the match was overkill in terms of doing the same moves over and over again, the drop kicks, the V-trigger, the tombstone, and the commentary. I listened to it with the English commentary, and my own personal opinion, I find Kevin Kelly to be a bit annoying. You know, he's out there doing the tombstone like it's soccer or something. I just found it to be annoying, and I just think they did too much, and there's just too many parts of the match where they're so exhausted and they're not going for pins. I had a lot of issues with the match, despite it athletically being extremely sound and well-paced. I did have some issues with it. So that's my little rant on the New Japan match. The first 30 minutes, I thought it was amazing. And I was like thinking to myself, maybe I'm going to pick this one over the WWE matches. But after the last 20 minutes or so, I'm like, it was getting a little annoying for me towards the end. So, I might get some hate mail from the New Japan Pro Wrestling fans, but that's my opinion on it. I don't think it's the greatest match of all time. Was it the best match of the year? Maybe. I mean, I'm really torn between that match and my personal favorite match of this year. This might surprise you guys, both of you and perhaps the viewers as well. I'm going to go with the Usos versus the New Day from Hell in a Cell because I was thoroughly entertained with that match. Not just the quality of the match. They did some innovative stuff during the match, different things from previous Hell in a Cell matches, but also I liked the storyline, and it was a series of matches. Those guys were tearing it up on a series of pay-per-views, and then you actually had the Hell in a Cell match conclude the feud once and for all, and I thought it was very satisfying. So I'm going with Usos and New Day, but all these matches are great. All of them are wonderful contenders. So Jeff, you want to start, or Greg? Who wants to go first here?
Greg, I go next.
All right. I was between two as well, and the Usos and the New Day was one of them, but it's not going to be my pick. As much as I enjoyed that entire feud and that final match was incredible.
What's the dog's opinion?
I don't know.
I have to go with Pete Dunne against Tyler Bate from NXT TakeOver because that match, top to bottom, start to finish, was just incredible storytelling. I mean, much like the Usos and New Day was, but that match was just incredibly enjoyable. For somebody who didn't actually get to watch the UK tournament special, I actually wasn't familiar with Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate to begin with, so I went in with an open mind, and they blew my mind. I mean, that's the way it is. It was a fantastic match on really a great card, that NXT TakeOver special, but I have to go with Dunne versus Bate. Jeff?
It's been my opinion, I've been watching this over 27 years now, that a match of the year, the best match of any given year, should be a match that if you take it out of the context of what it is and put it on any time in the course of history, it should be a great match. That's why any of the Steamboat Flair matches from '89, if you put it by itself, is a match of the year. That's why they all got 5 stars from Mr. Meltzer. I think the match this year that you can take out of context of any other thing they've done all year and put it by itself as a match of the year, as a match by itself, had the best commentary call of the year, had the best in-ring work of the year, and very little storyline to it, which is what I loved about it. Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, NXT TakeOver Chicago. I sat in my old co-host Mikey's place and the jaw was on the floor from beginning to end. That match spoke to the old school fan in me like, God darn it, that was good. Like, I've been saying all year, if any match passes that this year, it's going to take something extraordinary. Hell in a Cell between this and New Day was very, very good, but it wasn't better than Dunne Bate from Chicago.
Well, Jeff, that's a very valid argument there. Jim Ross definitely added to that match, no doubt. Yeah. And that's what I say about announcing. You know, announcing is really important, and that's what actually brought the New Japan Pro Wrestling match down a little bit for me, was the announcing. I know there's Japanese announcing and English announcing, but JR...
Well, it's funny because I actually watched both versions. I watched Okada and Omega with Japanese and American commentary. I had a hard time Japanese because I don't understand the language, obviously. Yeah. But it's like you said, at the last half of the match kind of got a little muddled. Yeah. So I think if it had been the first 30 minutes and ended right there, match of the year. But because it didn't, it suffered.
Yeah, and as much as I love Dunne and Bate, I think it's outstanding and it's pretty much flawless. The only thing is, after that, we really didn't see much of Pete Dunne or Tyler Bate. You know, I like to look at the future, and if those matches that are considered the all-time greats, you know, normally they lead to something bigger, and we still haven't seen much of Pete Dunne or Tyler Bate since then. I think if both of them had debuted on the main roster by now, maybe I'd have a different feeling about it. Other than that, you know, pretty much a perfect match. You know, unlike you, Jeff, I would have liked a little bit more storyline, but the fact that they could have such a great match without a storyline, you know, really goes to show how incredible those guys are as performers. So it's a close one for me. I mean, I think Pete Dunne and Tyler Bate would definitely be my second pick on here, and then maybe the New Japan match would be number 3. But we'll see what the fans vote for. This is going to be a really interesting category to see which one. I don't think there's any clear-cut winner here. I think they're all great in their own way, and this could be a very close race.